up, everyone? Themis Omega here, and I'm back. I know I've not been consistent with the channel, and I've been MIA for some time, but I'm ready to get back into it. So, the last video I made was roughly 9 months ago. I didn't watch it for a recap, but hopefully I'm on target with some of the stuff I'm about to kind of allude to from that video that I think I remember when I made it. Oh, I just exited that. That was wrong. Give me 1 second and let me get back there. Shouldn't take me long. Consider I was just at it. Okay. Alright. That easy. So what I want to talk about is the economy going into a recession. And as I mentioned in the video that I made roughly 9 months ago, I'm pretty sure I talked about how I thought the economy was going to go into a recession at some point. I don't remember if I gave a timeline, probably a year. And now thinking into it, probably a year moved again, another 6 months to a year, which I probably have still like 3 months in that, 2-3 months in that timeline. But I think it's going to get moved probably to another 6 months a year. And these are my reasons, right? We already talked about the low interest rates, the quantitative easing, and the inflation, right? I probably talked about it in the video, hopefully I did. I think I talked about CPI at the time and how inflation, even though the Fed was saying it was going to be transitory, I thought it was going to be persistent, and it's been the case that it's persistent. And that's what it ended up being. But the three reasons: we've had low interest rates, quantitative easing, and high inflation. The highest inflation since 1982. Now, when COVID hit, the whole pandemic started, the Fed wanted to come in and essentially use the monetary policy abilities that it has to stimulate the economy and increase employment and essentially stimulate the economy, right? So, how does it do this? So what they thought, they were like, okay, let's lower the interest rates and let's start providing quantitative easing methods to the economy. But it was long overdue, right? Like at some point they have to roll it back. You can't just do that forever. They just let the printing. Everyone's probably heard already or seen the meme. It's like the printing machines go burr, right? You see Jerome Powell behind like the money printer just spinning it and just like throwing money, right? Just changing colors. And because like you're just printing money and throwing it into the economy, what's there to back that money, right? Obviously everyone should know we are using a fiat system. We're no longer backed by like the gold standard, or nothing really backs the US, well, nothing backs the US dollar besides the full faith of the United States government, right? But what that ultimately leads us to is like when money gets printed, now you have more money in circulation and the value of the dollar is decreased, right? In simple terms. Anyways, all of this stuff is leading up to a perfect storm to lead to a drop in the market and ultimately a recession, right? Now, when that may happen, who knows? I would say more than likely within the next 6 months, a year. Now, the Fed's already announced that they're going to start unloading their balance sheet and reducing quantitative easing, and they're going to start increasing interest rates. Now, how long that takes to happen, that's going to be a big factor. Because up to this point, everybody was like, the Fed is backing us, right? We can't lose. But once that stuff stops happening and they stop essentially providing that relief to the market and to the economy, then we'll really see what's going to start happening. But one thing I'd like to point out, and I'll include all of these links in the description to the video, but one of the articles on MarketWatch, referring to the NASDAQ, the technology-heavy index is off to a terrible start, down 8.3% so far in 2022, closing out Wednesday down 1.2% at $14,340.26. $14,340.26. putting it down 10.69% below its November 19th record peak and meeting the common definition for a correction in an asset's value. Now, I think that's going to drop even more, but that's still a substantial decline, right? 10.69% in 2 months. I mean, we were seeing hikes of that in 2-3 months, right? So it's only normal that's going to be the same in the opposite direction. But it's just ridiculous, right, when you think about it. And this is with the Fed still providing quantitative easing and low interest rates. So imagine when that stuff is no longer there. And inflation's probably only going to get higher until, well, not probably, it's going to. It's going to get higher until the Fed starts pulling back on that stuff. Now, another article that, this is from Market Watch too, actually talks about oil. It says oil could break the stock market's back if crude goes parabolic. How to prepare. So oil right now, as everyone knows, across the country, and by country I'm talking about the United States, is already high, right? It's already high across the country. The other day I paid, I think it was like $4.39 for 91 octane, so the premium, per gallon. That's expensive, right? Now, if the price of oil is going to go up per barrel, right? Let me see. Yeah, if that goes up even more, guess what? Bye-bye. Because the average everyday person's getting hit, and their pockets are going to get hit hard. Because guess what? The average person isn't out there driving a Tesla. They're not out there driving some hybrid vehicle that's super efficient on gas. They're not driving other battery-powered vehicles, right? So they're going to feel the pain. Now, we'll see how people react, but their pockets are definitely going to hurt. It's going to hit their pockets, and that's going to be something to look out for. And I think the rest of the market's going to follow too, right? So I don't think it's just going to be the NASDAQ. I think the Dow is going to follow everything else, right? Like it's going to be widespread. Obviously, like with any other recession, depression, whatever we think this is going to flow to, whatever type of correction zone, there are going to be sectors that do well. Figure out, like, do your research, figure out what those are, and good luck, really. But I made this video more just to kind of go over what's currently been going on and kind of get back out there and making videos. My next the videos I start making after this, they'll be a little bit more thought out. Okay, you're playing games right now, huh? They'll be a little bit more thought out, and they'll talk a little bit more about whatever I want to talk about at the time. So right now I'm currently watching Gotham, so I will likely talk about that tomorrow. What season? I believe I'm on season 4 or 5. Whatever is the one before the previous season or before the last season. That's the one I'm currently on. I believe it's 5. But I'll create a video on that tomorrow after I'm done watching the whole series or the whole season, so I can talk about it because I think it's pretty interesting. And then I'm probably going to talk about some animes, put up some gaming videos, do a bunch of other stuff. And then whatever you guys enjoy, just feel free to comment. Let me know. I'm free to talk. Just feel free to leave a comment. I'll respond, and I can make content that you guys desire. I know my nose is a little stuffy, and probably a little difficult to hear me, but I'm feeling a little under the weather right now. But hopefully I get better. But I'm going to continue making products for you guys, for everyone out there, and hopefully you enjoy it. Feel free to leave a like, subscribe, and leave a comment, and we can see where it goes from there. Appreciate it. Bye. Appreciate the support.